Okay, so when most people think about food and drinks in Ireland, you know, Guinness, fish and chips, things like that. But when I was living there, curried chips was my favorite thing. It's kind of like a thick French fry with a thick curry sauce on top. Sounds kind of weird, but it is absolutely delicious. I lived in Ireland for a while. I was in Dublin for a little bit, and then I lived in Belfast for a little bit. And as we know, Belfast is in Northern Ireland, technically still part of the United Kingdom. So I was there on a 6-month tourist visa working under the table, and I had this grand scheme as my 6 months were coming to an end that I was going to get around the system and stay a little longer by flying into the Republic of Ireland, getting my passport stamped, taking a bus up over the border where there's no passport check, coming up and staying for a little bit longer. I'm like, there's no way this could go wrong. Stay a little bit longer, no problem. I was seeing this Irish guy at the time, and you know, the thing about Irish people in general is the accents, they're so magical. Whatever they say, it's just like, yeah, yeah, because of the way they say it. So I was telling him about my plan, and he said, oh, you know what to do, Martha? Fly into Knock Airport into west of Ireland. You know, in Dublin, there's going to be too many officers, too much security. In Knock, they're just going to let you go right through. They're not even going to look twice at you. Go to Knock. And I was like, yeah, yeah, I'll go to Knock. Yeah, yeah. So I packed up, you know, a few essentials, and I flew into East Midlands in England and then into Knock Airport. And as I'm coming through security, I'm the only one with an American passport. I get into that line, and the immigration officer, oh, he sees an American passport, and you don't see them that often there. And he's like, I'm gonna do something with this one. So he brings out all the questions. Where are you going? What you doing? Who are you staying with? How much money do you have? I'm trying to be cool, like I can execute this plan. He says, who are you staying with? I give him the name and number of a friend in Dublin who is a real person, but I hadn't let him know that I was doing this because I thought it would be fine. I thought he was just going to write it down like they usually do, but no, he goes back into the little room. He calls her, catches her totally off guard, comes back out to me where I'm standing there looking very harmless and innocent, little red pea coat, laptop, glasses. I'm totally legal. And he says, she's not expecting you. Go stand against the wall. That's deception. So I'm like, okay. He's like, you're going back on the plane that you came on. I'm like, okay, then what are they going to do? I don't know. They'll probably deport you. Not my concern, not letting you in, stand against the wall. So I'm standing against the walls. All these passengers who are getting off their plane to go see the pilgrimage, because Knock has a shrine, a holy shrine. So all the pilgrimage people are coming, looking at me like, what's she done? Then he escorts me back to the plane that I came on, sits me down in the seat, goes and talks to the stewardess and points me out, you know, like keep an eye on her. So there I am sitting there on the way back to East Midlands, and all I'm thinking is I'm going to jail, going to be in a jail cell, it's going to be cold, I can't sleep when it's cold, they'll probably give me like one blanket, it's going to be thin and threadbare, and they might give me a sandwich, but all the sandwiches in Ireland have mayonnaise all over them, and I can't stand mayonnaise. And I use a lot of toilet paper. All my friends know this. When I'm coming to stay, they assure me they have enough rolls. But in jail, there's probably rations. They'll give me like 2 sheets. It's going to be 1 ply. I'm just thinking this. Then the plane lands, and as we're getting off the plane, it's very slow coming up to the immigration officer, and then I see as we get to him why it's so slow. He has a printout with my picture on it. So I say, it's me, you know, just nodding my head, and then we walk into the little room, and it's like every cop show you ever saw. It's playing out before my eyes. There's the desk, and I'm on one side of it. This very nice gentleman is on the other side of it. There are other officers off to the side. Phones are ringing, and then he comes out with the questions. But he was very kind. He was very nice. He was about my age, and I have 2 things going through my mind. One part of me feels like I'm at confession and should just be like, Father, I've sinned, I've broken the law, this is what happened. The other part of me feels like this is like a job interview. Just stay calm, collected, pretend to be something I am not. So, but he gets it out of me. I kind of, you know, get into what I'm doing, and he says, well, you've got to leave by tomorrow, or, you know, we'll deport you, and you can't come back for 10 years. So I said, I'll leave by tomorrow. And as I leave, I feel like this was kind of like a date. Like, we got to know each other. He was so nice. I almost want to say, I'll look for you on Facebook, but that wouldn't be appropriate. So then I go back to Belfast. I book my flight. I pack all my stuff up. It's time to go. If you ever want to create a stir on Facebook, just post caught by immigration. People you haven't talked to since grade school will be all over it. So then, and the Irish guy, he called me to say goodbye. He said, oh, Martha, it's my fault. I told you to go to Knock. I'm sorry. But at this point, I just was very nobly accepting. I said, no, it's my time. And I knew there was one last thing that I needed to do. I walked down the street and I bought myself a large curried chip, and I brought it back, and I stood at the kitchen counter having my last meal in Ireland. Thank you.